Up next, we have a new initiative by ISB Digital Summit called ISB Research Showcase. It is the initiative where the research faculty and the faculty of ISB and students will showcase their research in the digital space. The first presenter is Professor Rajib Saha, Assistant Professor ISB. Professor Saha is an Assistant Professor of Information Systems at the Indian School of Business. His current research interest includes network markets, group purchasing in healthcare, healthcare information systems, software product development. Prior to joining ISB, he taught graduate level courses in the area of operations management and information systems at the University of Rochester and worked in the IT industry for several years at organizations such as Oracle and Novell. Welcome, Professor.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. So it's so many crimes happening in the recent years. I don't know whether it's because the number of crimes has increased, or is it because we're hearing it more about those because of the media being more active. But irrespective of the case, I floated a project on crime analytics. And in this presentation, what I'm going to share with you is the number of insights that came out of this project. Right? So when you talk about crimes in a digitally charged zone, the first thing that comes to our mind is cybercrimes, right? And when it comes to cybercrimes, the kind of there exist lots of preventative mechanisms that rely on analytics. Okay, there's a particular set of tools that tries to detect whether a network access, a network resource access, is legitimate or not based on what it has seen in the past, right? But these kind of tools are relatively high on accuracy, but cannot detect the new kind of attacks or new kind of illegitimate access. So there are another kind of tools like anomaly detections. These are not as good in accuracy, but are good enough to detect new kind of attacks or new kind of illegitimate access. So to take advantage of both kinds of tools, in practice you will see both being used in sequence and or in parallel. Okay? So these are the cyber crimes. But then there are other kind of crimes like burglaries or shootings. Those are more physical in nature. And there your sophisticated firewall is not going to help. Okay? So the focus of this project was how technology, more specifically how analytics can help in preventing physical crimes. All right, I'll clarify what I mean by that with the light-hearted videos. Volume, please.
I used to think my job was all about arrests, chasing bad guys. Now I see my work differently. We analyze crime data, spot patterns, and figure out where to send patrols. It's helped some U.S. cities cut serious crime by up to 30%. By stopping it before it happens. Let's build a smarter planet.
Clarify. What we're talking about is about how to prevent crime as opposed to solving crime. Okay, so focus is on how we can prevent, how can use analytics to prevent crime. So I gave this project to our students. You may know we have started a one-year program on business analytics last year. And the project was given to the class of 2013-14 as well as 14-15. And in case you're wondering what this spider wave is, it's basically my LinkedIn network, and those two classes correspond to the batches who participate in that project. So fortunately, I came across this crime data set on Chicago. It lists all the individual crimes that were reported in the last 10 to 12 years, and I feel like a very good candidate for a project on crime analytics. I wish I had some Indian data set, but this was the only, this was a non-Indian data set publicly available, so I went ahead with that. The kind of tools that were covered in the class and were mostly used by the students were this set of tools: clustering, relationship mining, and dimension reduction, network analysis. You may have come across applications of these tools in your area. For example, you may have seen clustering being used in customer segmentations. network analysis being used in studying the network structure of the social network and all that. So the idea was to use these tools on this crime data set. That's what the students were asked to do. These tools are geared more towards discovering insights or patterns as opposed to predicting. Okay? There are another set of tools which focuses more on predicting more specifically. These are more for discovering insights and patterns. So they applied clustering. There are 77 community areas in Chicago, and they're trying to cluster those areas based on the crime pattern, right? And what interesting thing came out was that there are 4 distinct clusters. See if this works. The green area here are those areas where they were high on property-related crimes, like arson and stuff, right? But were low on the rest of the crime. As for the rest of the crimes are concerned, the purple areas were high on crimes like trespassing, deceptive practice, intimidation, liquor violation, motor vehicle theft, sexual assault, and all that, but were medium as far as rest of the crimes are concerned. The blue areas were very high on crimes on all respect. They're high on violent crimes like kidnapping, sexual assault, and then property-related crimes like arsons, burglaries, property damage, and all that, and also quality of life crimes like gambling or narcotics and all that. And this gray area on the west side of Chicago, this particular community area kind of stood out. It had very high crime rate in all respect and significantly higher than the rest of Chicago. Now, knowing this kind of clustering can help the law enforcement department to more appropriately allocate resources. What do I mean by that? Maybe they will have to do more patrolling, more often patrolling, and probably with armed officers, okay, as far as the gray and the blue high crime areas are concerned. But when it comes to dealing with the purple crime, which is medium, overall medium in crime rate, probably they will still need often patrolling, but all their officers may not have to be armed with guns, say firearms, right? Whereas a less frequent patrolling or probably automated surveillance kind of stuff can help save a lot of problems in those low crime green areas, right? And as you can imagine, it doesn't have to be just the law and enforcement department. Even this kind of findings can be useful in pricing real estate in those areas, pricing insurance in these areas. If an area is high on property crime, you can guess what is going to be on the insurance price, what kind of impact it will have on the insurance price. Even this kind of findings can be used in generating safety advices to the tourists or even the civilians who are living in those areas, all right? So there were some other kind of clustering they have tried, but for the sake of time, I just wanted to mention one of those. Then some other students wanted to dig deeper into those clusters and went to the district level and tried to find out what kind of crimes are co-occurring with what other kind of crimes, right? And it so happened that it so turned out that in some districts, a strong association was found among narcotics, battery, robbery, and assault. Well, in some other cases, a strong association, in other cases, meaning other districts, the strong association was found between narcotics and public use violation. This may reflect cultural differences across districts. What do I mean by that? In the former case, it may so be the case that probably it's the same set of people who are engaging in robberies to fund their narcotics, right? And once they're high on drugs, they are coming back and engaging in assaults and batteries. Very likely. Maybe on some other districts, what's going on is probably it's a different set of people who are not so hardcore criminals. They're probably those who engage in drug abuse occasionally, and when they do, they get into violation. They create violence in the public areas, right? They also tried to see if certain kind of crimes happen on certain days of week or certain time of a day, because it can help you better scheduling or patrolling, right? It was so observed that usually the burglaries happen in snowy days during the daytime on weekdays. It's probably because during the snowy days, there are not many people on the road, right? And the people are at work during those weekdays, and that makes it heaven for thieves. Okay? It was seen that the batteries usually happens in the residential areas on Sundays. Maybe it's the weekend hormones. Then it was also found the narcotics-related crimes were seen to happen in nights in the public areas like alleys or side streets or departmental stores. And most of them ended up in arrest. Now, what kind of benefits a law enforcement department can have from there is that they would know when to patrol which areas or what kind of things to look for, okay, while patrolling. So this kind of findings can guide their patrolling process or the resource allocation better. You may be aware, you will be aware of the network analysis, right? And you may be aware of how the structural properties of network, okay, are being used in achieving a lot of marketing goals. In this case, the students tried to apply the network analysis on this particular setup. They created a network of community areas, right? So the nodes are the different community areas, and the linked to nodes whenever they had similar crime pattern, right? What kind of insights we can get from this network? Well, think about it. Once we have this network created, the structural property can reveal a lot of stuff. If there are communities with a lot of links, technically higher degree centralities, then it's likely that those community areas are the breeding ground for criminals, right? If you spot a trajectory, if a trajectory in this network is very prominent with multiple hubs or junctions, probably it indicates the movement of the criminals along those areas. So this kind of insights that come out of network analysis can further be used as guidance in investigations, right? Now, while doing all this stuff, students faced a lot of issues with scale, right? The volume of the data was a lot, so their machines will hog. They had access to just simple laptops and not in scalable architecture. So a lot of the time, they face the problem of scale. Not as much of time urgency. Time urgency is more of an issue in the cybercrime, where intrusion has to be detected within milliseconds or within seconds, okay, before a network is compromised. But in this case, it was not about cybercrime, so time urgency was not of an issue. The issue was with the scale, okay, the volume of the data. Now, it's not a mere engineering problem. Why? Well, you can keep on installing supercomputers. You can invest in parallel storages or parallel computations architecture. But the question is, to what extent you want to chase the growth of data, right? And that depends on the marginal value that you're getting from that investment, right? So it's very important to understand the trade-off between loss of accuracy and the additional cost of computation, right? So it's a combination of engineering problem and a business problem. In this particular case, the student didn't have the access to the muscle power of supercomputer, okay? So they tried different techniques that were available to them for reducing the dimension of the data. They used tools like PCS or SViris, and in some cases, they're very creative about dividing the problem into, or breaking the problem into smaller problems, and still manage to get a lot of interesting insights. Okay? Now, and another interesting thing that was observed is that throughout this project, the student agreed that kind of realized the importance of the domain knowledge. A significant part of their effort went into data preparations, right? And they realized that how domain knowledge can help them prepare the data in such a way that the tools they had access to can be applied and meaningful insights can be obtained. The domain knowledge was also very useful in interpreting what the tools throws at you. Right? So domain knowledge was important in preparing the data, interpreting the insights, and they also realized the trade-off between the loss of accuracy and the cost of computations. So it's not just the tools. On top of that, those three things, realizing the importance of those three things was very important. Some students actually came at the end of the project and said they could deliver a better project or come up with better insights if they could interact with the Chicago police during the exercise, or at least if they had prior exposure to the Chicago city experience, city life, okay, before they started the project. Right? And I completely agree with them. Right? The realizations of the importance of domain knowledge in this kind of project in itself is a learning. So there are around 40 teams working on that project, and most of them did a very good job, came up with lots of interests and shared lots of their learning. For the interest of time, I don't know whether I have done justice to all of the teams. I just picked up some of the insights and then shared with you to showcase their project. That's all. Thank you for listening to me. And on a sunny Saturday, I hope you double enjoy your Sundays. Any questions? I'll stick to this I feel this is the most important slides in terms of, it's just not the tools, but everything else. I'll keep the slides on when we're thinking about questions, if any. Yes?
Hey, here's a mic.
Hi, this is Vinod from Mumbai. My question is, how secure is the online transactions? Because as of it is myself concerned, I have been doing online transactions since almost 7 to 8 years. But recently I have come across an incident wherein one of my colleague has done an online transaction and it has been hacked by some international hackers, and he has been chasing them since long. So just want to understand how secure, although I have not come across such incidents, but one of my colleague has come. So just want to understand how secure it will be, online transactions.
All these tools which are there to predict whether a certain kind of transactions is fraudulent or not, okay, are not, there's a theoretical limitations, are never 100% accurate. All right? So it always goes by probability. So now how accurate that algorithm is in terms of detecting whether something is fraudulent transactions or not depends on two things. First of all, whether it has seen similar kind of fraudulent transactions before or not. Okay? If it hasn't seen as many fraudulent transactions, when a new one comes, it cannot match with the existing ones, and it thinks it's probably a legitimate one. That's one part. Now the other kind of tools which tries to circumvent that problem by looking at anomalies, right? That this looks like new and it's not a legitimate type. In that cases, it may not say in yes or no, or may not prevent in binary ways that stop that or don't stop that. Can create an alarm, and if there's a human intervention, that probably can further detect whether it should go through, further decide whether it should go through or not. So my one line answer to that would be, it's never 100% secure, and it cannot be 100% secure. There's always a chance that some new kind of attack will compromise your system. Or
so in such cases, if it is an Indian national hacker or hacker is from India, it can be traced. But what if it is from international hacker? How to tackle these international hackers?
I'm not sure whether the algorithm will actually differentiate between national and international. Probably whatever
I'm asking on the law perspective. I'm not asking a technology perspective. I'm asking as you were talking about cybercrime as well.
Okay.
So I'm asking on the law perspective.
Oh, my honest answer is I wouldn't know.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. With that,
Thank
in
you.
the interest of time, we'll wrap up.
Thank you.
Thank you for that very interesting talk. May I now request Amit to please give away the token of appreciation. Up next, we have a professor from ISB, Sudhir Voleti. Professor Voleti is an assistant professor with the marketing area at ISB. His research focuses on combining data with econometrics and statistical methods to explain phenomena of marketing interest. He's going to showcase his research on analytics in digital business.
Okay, hello everybody. Can you hear me? Right, so I'm Sudhir Voleti. I'm a resident fac in the marketing area here. And before I proceed to distribute Gyan on the topic there, a quick note. Yeah, I'm still slightly hungover from yesterday's open bar, so take it easy on me. Okay? All right. Today, well, I have two stories for you, yeah, in the limited 15 minutes that I'm given. One is a story on predictive analytics in action. Now, you would be thinking, oh, well, we've seen a lot of that in this summit, right? That's fine. This one is going to focus more on the enablers of this action and the implications therein, right? Okay. The second one is a story of, well, a simple example of topic mining from text data, text analytic application. Something that I'm working on. There'll be an illustration and a little bit of what I'm working on there. Yeah. Why it represents something more than simple text mining. So these are the two things. Okay. Story one, a mini case study on paradigm shifts due to predictive analytics. Yeah. Okay. Imagine you're the hiring manager of a call center. Yeah. What are you going to do? Well, you want to hire people, you're going to call for resumes that might look like this. You're going to look at education, you're going to look at experience, you might look at some references and so on. The traditional way of hiring. Yeah. Okay, and then you might go for an interview because, well, this might not capture everything, so you want to actually get to know the person a little better. You might go for a personal interview, a face-to-face one. Yeah? Okay. So there are two types of, in general, data you might look at. There's demographic data, the hard data that you look at, and then there's psychographics, which might also be useful in certain jobs, right? Maybe call center jobs. Yeah? The problem with trying to measure psychographics, yeah, is that, well, it's not easy. You could think of a questionnaire that looks like this, an agree-disagree scale, and these statements, which you might say yes or no to. The interesting thing here, there are no right or wrong answers, probably. Okay, so it becomes a little more challenging. Yeah. Okay, what do you do after that? So traditionally, what was happening, and we take the example of Xerox Corporation, well, so they used to staff their call centers, using traditional hiring methods. Yeah. And then an algorithm came along and said, experience doesn't matter. Yeah. Testable, and so it was tested. Yeah. So basically, you have Evolve, which is this San Francisco-based startup that said, I'm going to crunch and match psychographic profiles to work outcomes. I don't want to look at the demographic side at all. I'm just going to take psychographics. I'm going to match them to work outcomes. I'm going to give you a hiring plan that will have better outcomes than your current plan. Yeah, simple. Okay. So can a statistical approach to hiring improve results? And we know the answer is yes, right? It's been around for a while. And yesterday, Professor Kopale mentioned, right, this particular thing, Moneyball, which was based on a true story of a man named Billy Bean, who took this obscure club, baseball club, to 20 straight victories, okay, which broke the baseball record of its time by changing his hiring pattern. He was budget constrained. By changing his hiring pattern, instead of using scouts, I'm going to use statistics. Yeah. Game number 20. 20 straight wins, unbroken record. Yeah. He gets noticed by the biggies, gets hired by Red Sox. I went to the US in 2003 for my PhD. In 2004, after decades, the Sox actually won the World Series. Yeah. It worked. Yeah. So the question now is, we know that it works. Question is, when they do work, why do they work? Right? In some sense, we try to explore that aspect of it. Yeah. Okay, so job applicants take a 30-minute test. This test consists of psychographic questions, 1 to 7 scale. Yeah. All right, and the firm has a database of current and past worker psychographic profiles and job performance outcomes, right? You statistically match them. It is as simple as anything, yeah? And it churns out these records. It assigns a score. Green means higher, red means don't, yellow means hold, basically. As simple a scoring system as you can think of, yeah? Okay. So what happened? Attrition dropped 20%. You might say 20%, meh. Actually, 20% is significant in that industry, yeah? Job performance improved, not just that attrition dropped, but performance metrics went up by a similar amount, yeah? The algo uncovers correlations that the naked eye can't see, right? Which may not have any theory backing them up, which may not even make sense at the outset, okay? Who would you rather hire, A or B? A, candidate who used Internet Explorer or Safari to answer your questionnaire. Candidate B, who used Firefox or Chrome. Who would you rather hire? The data say, yeah, B. The person who doesn't go with the default but actually searches for information for the best out there, downloads it, installs it, and uses that browser. That is my interpretation. We don't know why. The data say B does significantly better in statistical terms. Yeah. Okay. Who would you rather hire? A candidate who's joined 1 to 2 social networks versus one who's joined 3 to 4 social networks? A. I don't know why. The data say A works better. Yeah. And so on, and so on. Well, what would you say is the most significant point that emerges from there? Yeah. How does it relate to business in general? What is this paradigm shift we're seeing here? And so on, right? And since it talks about the hiring function, and I'm from the marketing area, are there any marketing implications? Yeah? Okay, okay. Those pesky psychographic Likert scale questions, who knew they would be so important? They actually are, turns out, at least for some folks, yeah? A brute force computation-based targeting approach, yeah? So you crunch millions of possible combinations, and you relate them to outcomes, yields predictive models superior to gut feel, superior to intuition. How generalizable is this? We'll see. But for now, the data shows that is true in some sense, yeah? Core point, the algorithm discovers connections that years of field experience may earn us, or sometimes even that may not be enough to earn us, yeah? Another nice point, you cannot really cheat. If there is any systematic gaming of the system, it catches on. Okay. Let us take a step back from the big picture view, take a tactical view. Yeah? So what do we have? We have better measurement, both on the firm side, right? We have the Y outcome variables, and on the applicant side, the X variables. Yeah? The individual side constitutes the X matrix, and this the Y matrix. Together, they become basically a very interesting proposition. Yeah? So you have better measurement, it always starts there. Yeah? Leading to better database records. Well, measurements is put into a database, yeah? And how much simpler could it be, right? Which in turn actually enables better analysis. I have X's, I have a Y, and I have no assumptions made on the form or the function, and I analyze it. Yeah? Better analysis in turn leads to better predictive modeling, which in turn hopefully leads to better predictions, which in any case can be measured. The outcomes and the gaps can be measured. And that measurement in turn neatly ties in back to database records. What does that show? That basically shows that once the loop is complete, the cycle becomes recursive. It improves, it evolves every single time. And what that means, the database becomes a strategic asset. The classical definition of asset is something that yields returns over time. This fits the bill perfectly. The data is valuable, it's an asset. Yeah? Might find place in a balance sheet someday, intangible assets and so on maybe. Yeah? The algo improves over time, in fact it evolves. Yeah? Okay. So, think about what this means, right? Hiring managers, years of experience, yeah? Condensed into algorithms that can analyze large databases. Yeah. The mental model of experience is now becoming a mathematical model. Experience itself in the workplace, at least under certain circumstances, becomes replaceable. Maybe. It's a scary thought, okay? Not a very comforting thought. But is it, Well, there are dangers and risks. There is the danger of GIGO, garbage in, garbage out, invasion of privacy, and in the US, these things are taken pretty seriously. Could this become a reason for which insurers might deny coverage and so on? That kind of thing, legalese, yeah? Litigation risks and so on. How far can the trend go? Can it replace managerial talent? Why hiring function only in call centers? More generally, can it replace? I don't think so, likely not as of now, yeah? But who knows, a generation down the line, yeah? Okay. So how does all this impact marketing, right? Think about the CRM function, yeah? So basically, we have all of these. Think about customer analytics, retail analytics, customer lifetime value computations, all of which put into a recursive loop like that, which improves every time it executes. I think in some sense, is a slight shift in paradigm, slight, yeah? Peter Drucker once said, the best way, right, to predict the future is to create it. In some sense, we don't even know who's doing the creating here, yeah? But it's happening. Well, those questions were raised just to be thrown up in the air. I'm not claiming to know the answers. Yeah? Okay. Which brings me to my second mini case study. And this one is on elementary text analytics. Well, a little more than elementary. Yeah. So what are the challenges in the analysis of big data? Yesterday we saw one definition. I'm just going to piggyback on that one. Yeah. So this is volume, variety, velocity, and within that I'm going to pick on variety and say this particular mini case, the one to follow, the one on text analytics, is basically going to deal with one kind of data, unstructured, open-ended text data. Okay, that's basically what I'm going to look at. Okay. A quick illustration, topic mining, a little more than text mining. Yeah. Quick illustration. Can you tell me what that is? Yeah, the Lal Killa, right? The Red Fort. And a few days ago, the Prime Minister to the country spoke from there. Yeah? An Independence Day speech that actually trended at the top of Twitter for close to 48 hours. When was the last time an Independence Day speech did that? Yeah? Now, the English translation and the full body transcript is actually available online. It's easy to find. And so, suppose you didn't have time for this hour-long speech and you want to know what really were the points that came up. Yeah? Well, you could try to do what the BBC did, right? You could get a single word cloud, yeah? What do you see there? Well, the brain is, in some sense, it seeks to find patterns where none may exist. So, well, we may think we can see something there. Maybe, yeah? What it looks like to me is basically it's just a bag full of words inside, and that's about it, right? Classic word cloud where the size of the, word is proportional to its importance, frequency typically, but yeah. Even better description would be a kitchen sink. Right? Throw everything in there and then try to make something out of it. Yeah. What ideally I would like to see would be something like this, indexed data, which tells me in some sense what is the organization behind this text, what are the topics in this text, what are the semantic themes that might emerge? That is what I would ideally look for. Yeah. So rather than look at a kitchen sink, which is what basic text mining does, effectively. At the most, it will give you some word frequencies. Yeah. Can we do better? Can we organize the text in a way that in some sense pervades meaning? Okay. Consider the following scenarios, right? A manager wants to know the broad contours of what customers are saying when they call into the call center, typical call center transcripts available everywhere, yeah? Firm wants to know their persistent patterns and their grievance redressal mechanisms and customer complaints that are coming in and so on, yeah? What major topics around press coverage of a particular company and so on. Insurance firms, okay, what are the insurance inspectors actually writing out there? A lot of that is text, yeah? All these cases entail analyzing unstructured open-ended data, yeah? A lot of, I won't say most, but a lot of, I don't know, maybe most, depends on the organization, I guess. A lot of data is in text form, yeah? And what people seek to extract is meaning. Yeah, meaning is variously defined, I guess, and machines do not get meaning, yeah? They just don't get it. Yeah? One way to define meaning would be in the form of coherent condensed topics or themes which we assume a priori exist in that body of text. If they exist, then maybe we can find them. Yeah. Currently, getting to meaning actually requires manual analysis. Yeah. Which is okay if you're doing one speech. But if you're doing thousands of documents, scalable, to that extent, orders of magnitude, how would it go? This leads us to the central point, how to mine directly for topics or themes in text. Well, there is something called the latent Dirichlet allocation model. It's been around for over a decade, yeah, which might help, yeah. Math looks nasty, but actually it's quite tractable, yeah. And the basic subroutines are available where else but on R, yeah. This looks better, if you ask me, yeah. All that R can do. Okay. So topic mining the PM speech. I got about 6 topics. Okay. Can you guess what this might be? So what is a topic? A topic is basically a probability distribution over terms. Okay. And those are proportional to their probabilities. The importance weight here is probability. What do you think this is all about? Well, cleanliness, toilets, and so on, sanitation focus, which actually was one of the themes in his speech. Yeah. This one, you might want to wager a guess. Anybody? What do you think this is about? I mean, hey, I came out with my own. You might come out with a slightly different interpretation. But in general, the meaning part, I guess, on the average across all our interpretations might be the same. That's the hope. Rural development via digital empowerment. Apparently, that was another theme. I want digital to go to villages. Okay. Going by his record, it would be interesting to see if that actually happens by 2019. Yeah. The birth anniversary, 150th birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi comes in 2019, October 2. And the aim is to get that to happen. Interesting. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Federalism and economic development. Basically, there was this whole pitch to manufacturing. It was not very long. It was basically 1.5 paras worth, but it gets mined and got caught nicely. Yeah. It's not necessary that every topic will have meaning. This one, for instance, I couldn't figure out what this was. This one, I don't know, national character buildings. Ask not what your country can do for you kind of thing, which was also there in the speech. Actually captured a little bit there. Yeah. Okay, that was basically an illustration. Let me get to an example problem. Yeah. Nokia. The Nokia Lumia. The Samsung Galaxy S3, which is some sort of a contemporary of the 625, and the iPhone 4C. The 3 are contemporaries. Now, this came out of a class project. Okay. People actually collected data on these phones. And why it started with this one? Because I had just bought one. So I said, why don't you collect data and reviews and stuff? Yeah, so people went to Amazon Reviews, which very conveniently gives you, reviews in a form where it is easy to actually scrape it off the web. So this is what a review might look like, and each review is a document. So I have about 120 documents in my calibration data set, and there is a holdout data set. It's about prediction after all. Yeah? So about the same size for a holdout data set. About 120 words on the average per review. This is after removing the stop words, a and the. Yeah? Those are the meaty words left. Yeah? And you can see the variance is quite high. Okay. Model selection happens. Base factors used in this case. 2 topics is the ideal, apparently. All right. So what do they look like? This is what the first topic, the top 40 terms by left for the first topic look like. Yeah. Windows, apps, Nokia, Android, app, Lumia, iPhone. To me, this clearly suggested that people were worried about Lumia's app ecosystem. It was working on the Windows operating system. Who knows how many apps are there? Who knows if it will support? A lot of the reviews were actually focusing on this aspect. Yeah. There you go. Out of the, so we could do valence and sentiment analysis, and all those are part of basic text analysis. We don't have to go there. The nice part is topic mining. Yeah. Factorizing that body of text into topics which are in some sense hopefully endowed with meaning. Yeah. Well, this is what, so you go back and have a look at some of the reviews, especially those which load very well onto the particular topic. The words in red are basically among the top 40 words that you saw there. Yeah. This is topic 2. If that was OS specific, this was OS neutral. It was more about, oh, will it work with T-Mobile? Is it unlocked? Will it work with AT&T? And so on. Yeah. So this was in some sense non-OS, and that was OS. Okay. Basically, this was the. So one simple shot of mining about 100 documents, you could take it to 1,000. It would just take a couple of seconds more. Take it to 10,000, add in a few more seconds. That's about it. Scalable. Yeah. The blue are the topic 2 words, the red are the topic 1 words, and you can see how this goes. This is the separation in the 2 clusters, neatly separated. Neatly separated. And it actually holds for the holdout sample as well. Not as neatly separated, but good enough. Good enough. Yeah. Okay, which brings me to my conclusion. I hope I haven't exceeded time. Well, analytics is set to revolutionize, well, you heard that spiel before. Yeah. All right. There exist easy available ways to analyze text data beyond the obvious, and they're available on open source programs and platforms. Yeah. It's now possible to arrive, okay, not necessary, but it's possible. More work needs to be done. Arrive at an understanding of latent topics, of these hidden themes that might underlie a body of text. It is in my own research interest to talk to industry people. If any of this seems remotely interesting, folks, I'll be available soon after. Let's start. Yeah. With that, I will close it. Yeah. Thanks. Okay, that's encouraging. All right.
Hi, Professor. This is Abhishek from Emphasis.
Hi.
Not a question, just a remark. As in, we are doing some work for a largest bank of the country on NPA management. So we are actually, using some of the techniques for text mining that you spoke about for doing ontology definition, sentiment analysis, and all. So things around, say promoters going burst behind the bars. How do you read that English, and try to make sense out of it to approve the loan, not approve the loan, ask money early on, all those things are being considered. So excellent area, probably the future.
I should mention, I think, quickly that there are 2 broad related areas in text analysis that at least I know of. So one is the natural language processing domain, okay? What I did is based on something called bag of words, where the basic assumption is that the order of words doesn't matter, right? So homemade and made home are the same where bag of words is concerned. Of course, we borrowed something from NLP. For instance, tokenization is borrowed from NLP and so on. But it's a mix and match. I mean, take the best and build the best, right? Yeah.
Hello, Professor. I'm Raj from Scient. One interesting question I have is, this can be used in employee engagement and customer engagement surveys, because you do get a lot of those data and comments coming in. The first question is, before you really start getting the patterns and all these things, how do you really take out some of the things that doesn't really have any meaning? Like you talked about A and these are some of the things like that, but there could be more things as well. True. And second thing is, have you really come across any kind of initiative where those engagement things are being used for this kind of analytics?
Okay. So yeah, let me admit right up that this is messy business, right? Probably like all of big data, simply owing to the variety of data, the information that comes in. So what works for one company, the set of rules I use to filter out stop words may not work for another. You actually need human domain expertise to come in and, which is not the way it worked in the first many case where, hey, I don't need human intervention at all. It'll actually give me a score per candidate hire. Yeah. That does not have. Here, you need a lot of human intervention, domain specific. If I'm an insurance company versus I'm a healthcare company, the kind of text analyses I'm going to be doing is very different. Right? So in some sense, documents, imagine a healthcare company, a hospital, thousands of patients, thousands of case files, right? And I want to know in some sense, if I want to project them into some latent space where each document is a point in space, and I want to know which documents talk about the same symptoms in the same order. I think it would be useful, you bet, big time. The kind of thing I would do there would be very different from what I might do for, say, another company, another industry. Yeah.
Hi, Professor. This is Gaurav from Bajaj. After you have come up with the initial volume charting, which is, this is the volume of keywords, the size of the keywords that was coming out, how do we come up with subsequent themes so that we take it to the next stage as you took in your presentation?
Okay, so yeah, like I said, there are a lot of issues. Yeah. For instance, someone says good, someone says fantastic, someone says great. They effectively all mean the same things, right? It's going to capture them as different words. Should I, in some sense, to increase meaning, replace all words which are synonymous with a single word? Would that help? Would it improve meaning? Would we lose something by doing that? There are all of these questions at every step. Right? In this case, one of the shortcuts I used, because it was an illustration, was if a word occurs more than once in the entire corpus, only then I will consider that word. If I use unique words, the interpretation of topics can get quite challenging. It differs. So people have taken entire journals, Nature, the top science journal out there. Topic analyzed the entire set of articles that have come in like the last 10 years. And then the topics which come out actually have a lot of meaning. So the larger the corpus of text, in some sense it seems to me, so once you fix the volume, more is in some sense better. It's able to give us, probably average out over a lot of randomness and give us a lot of insight. Maybe. Again, there are caveats everywhere in this.
So thank you, Sudhir. I know there are a lot more questions, but we'll wrap up in the interest of time. And I know you're available at lunchtime, so please feel free to reach out.
Thank you, Professor. May I call Professor Amit Mehra to please give a token of appreciation? Up next, we have two teams from the students of ISB. May I call on stage Simranjeet from the class of 2014 of ISB, and his topic of presentation is E-commerce Marketplace in India, Achieving Excellence.
Yeah, hi friends. So yeah, hi. Sorry for that. So we did this project under guidance of Professor Mehra. So it was about achieving excellence in providing consistent customer experience. In short, how to delight customers. So I'll talk about it, but first let me just set the context. E-commerce market in India, 57% CAGR, huge, right? Where are we going? So the list of usual suspects, Amazon, Flipkart, Snapdeal, and all the big players. What are we shopping for, right? We're looking at computer software, flowers, books, music, all the usual categories that we find ourselves shopping for. But we must ask ourselves, why are Indians online? What is it that shopping online gives us, right? So we love bargains, we love discounts. We love a lot of variety, right? So now we know we don't have to hop from store to get that perfect brand and that perfect fit. And above all, we also have convenience. So we can sit back, have a beer, and order anything from our own places, right? Seems like a perfect world. Everybody is getting whatever they want, right? So there are consumers who are getting the variety, convenience, and ease of use. There are the marketplace players who are getting a lot of customers, they're getting a lot of business, they're getting all the money, right? So everybody seems really, really happy. But is that really so? And this is what we're going to dive into. This man, to me, does not look very happy. And why is that? Well, he ordered something, the product was wrong, and nobody came to pick it up. Some more stats: consumers are not happy because of non-delivery or delay in delivery, because the delivery guys can't find their address, or products are out of stock. Some more stats for you: 73% increase in the number of complaints for ventures that shifted to marketplace, right? And it is 20% for the ones who are still on inventory. So now we're getting a theme. Marketplace, inventory based, there's a lot of difference, right? So maybe we need to dive into that. And that's exactly what we did. So we compared the e-tailing model, the inventory based model, with the marketplace. And we broke it down into the whole value chain. So sourcing, product listing, product display, and the likes. And we found out that there is essentially a difference in how the e-tailing segment and the marketplace, the inventory and the marketplace are structured. So we went ahead and we dived deeper and we came up with certain challenges, certain themes. So seller onboarding, bringing on sellers to the websites, cross-selling, bundling of products, product listing and display, and delivery. Now let me briefly talk about each one of this and what we did and how we came up with the solutions. Seller onboarding. So what we think is more sellers means more variety and more choice for the customer. So it seems really good, right? But more sellers also mean a lot more problems, because out of this huge subset of customers, of sellers, you need to identify the ones who are the right ones, who are giving the customers the value for money, right? Because even a single bad experience can cause a huge customer churn in this day and age of social media and social networking, where the word flows. So these challenges, so what we came up with was a solution that we need to start profiling these sellers. It has been happening in other countries. It has happened in some countries in Europe, US. We could also do that, like use credit rating agencies. We have mobile as we could use mobile as a identification point, because everybody who sells online at least has a mobile number, and use these rating agencies, the history of the sellers and how they're doing online, to create a performance management system. You need to incentivize the top sellers, and you need to create an incentives for the sellers who are not top rated to adopt the best practices and improve their user ratings. What else? So product listing and display. This is one of the major areas of concern these days, because a lot of this is done by sellers. So in marketplaces, the players are giving up control of this aspect, right? So what are the challenges? So some of the challenges are same product under different titles, right? Misleading product descriptions. This mobile phone, to me, it does not look in a very excellent condition, right? So non-standardized images, non-usage of these standard catalogs. So these are some of the challenges which hamper the customer experience on marketplaces specifically. So what are the solutions to this? Because a lot of sellers are not tech savvy, right? So marketplaces need to handhold these sellers, right? To have dynamic pop-up windows during listing, so guiding them, hand-holding them, telling them what they need to do, what are the best practices. Give them standard product catalogs. So consumer electronics, you have mobile phones, you have other devices. Attach the images and the products with the standard catalogs, so that customers have a consistency of experience across various sellers and various products. And have live chat windows. So if a seller is having confusion regarding where to go, what to do, then have chat windows to help them walk through the process. And most importantly, display what the customer wants, give him the power. So TripAdvisor, one of the travel sites, is doing a brilliant job in this. they've given all the power of display to the customers. So if I'm searching for a hotel, I have the power to select the budget, the type of hotel that I want to stay in, and the kind of trip that I'm planning to go on. So all the power is residing with the customer. So that's something that e-commerce and the various online retail sites could learn from that. Next up is cross-selling and bundling. So this is an inherent problem with the marketplace because different sellers have different products. And one seller is selling one type of product and he might not be selling any complementary product. So what is the solution, right? The solution is in the question itself. It's for the marketplaces to try and build a common platform, bring all these sellers on a common platform and encourage them to collaborate, to give them advice, give them suggestions using analytics, customer buying behavior, and advise them that these are the complementary products that you can use and you can sell with your set of products. Encourage cross-selling with the same sellers, right? Show him the value, show him that he could see improvement in business, and show him the results, show him the facts. And more importantly, on the buyer side, show them social proof, right? Consumer behavior 101. They do it because of social proof. If they see other buyers coming onto the website, buying complementary products, and getting a great deal on that, then more buyers will follow. Next up is the delivery and post-sales services, right? As we saw, one of the major pain points is the frequent delays in delivery, different delivery modes, and it is because of different delivery modes. Delivery time across sellers are different, across products, and in fact, within the same category of products, depending upon the sellers, the delivery time, delivery date, and the quality of delivery also differs, right? So essentially what this means is that the post-sales services are not standardized. So how do we handle that, right? So there are two ways to handle it. Either what you do is you show them the results. In order to solve the delay problem, you could show them results based on certain parameters such as geography, their past buying behavior, their past buying habits. So what this means is, let's say a person is residing in Delhi, and from his behavior, you can figure out that he's pretty particular on the delivery time. So show him results based on geography from all these sellers who are nearby his location, so that the delivery time is very less. Now, I understand that there's a trade-off between delivery time and variety and all of that, but that is something for the players to look into. And what else they could do is they can encourage the sellers to start using the logistic partners of the various marketplaces to bring about a standardization in the delivery mode, the quality of delivery, and so on. So these are the two examples. So these players have been doing it internationally. And in fact, Amazon India did a very good job. It did a very great thing in this. So eBay local stores, right? What they do is, what consumers can do is they can buy online and pick up from a store, right? So if you're really hell-bent on getting a product very soon, then buy it online and just go into the store. So what this means, do we have the right pill to build a successful business model? Well, as an MBA student, I would say it depends. And what does it depend upon? It depends upon your product category. It depends upon how consumers interact with your product. Where do they go for buying your product? Where do they spend most of their time in searching for the product and buying the product? So it actually really depends upon your product category, and you need to figure out the consumer behavior to build a successful business model. Thanks. That's it from me.
Thank you, Simranjeet. May I now request Reema to give away the token of appreciation? Up next, we have another student presentation. The topic is Mobile Marketing, New Dimension of Customer Engagement by Saurabh and Rajandeep from the class of 2014.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Professor Amit, and thank you, Rima, for inviting us. It's a nostalgic feeling, and it's also a pleasure and honor to be here and to be speaking at Digital Summit. So we are going to talk about, I'm Saurabh, and my friend Rajan here. We are going to talk about latest trends in mobile marketing. Do I upgrade it? So to set the stage right, why are we doing mobile marketing, and why are those companies from different industries, be it automobile, be it finance companies, be it production houses, why are they investing money in mobile marketing? The answer is there, because we have more than 1.75 billion smartphones out there. We have, the data is for US, and we have average US citizens spending over 2 hours every day on mobile phones. We're talking about smartphones here. And 21 billion, that is the global, not global, sorry, it's US ad spend on mobile channel. So that's the context. I mean, people are spending money on mobile marketing. But here comes the interesting, also the challenging bit, which is the banner ads. Now the banner ads have been out for the last 2 decades. But if you look at the number, that's 53 trillion. That's the number of ads, banner ads, that were put out in 2013 only in US, and only 0.1% of them got clicked. What does that mean? That means nothing but banner blindness. This is a study from Nielsen Norman Group, which says when you put out ads, that's how they appear. I mean, the green box is there, and the red areas and the yellow areas and the blue areas are where readers usually get fixated, whereas they very easily ignore those banner ads. Now, if that is the problem, then why are we so upbeat about banner ads and mobile advertising? Here is the answer. I'll talk about the first trend, which is leveraging the native features of mobile phones, and Rajan, my friend here, will talk about the other trends. So what do we mean by native features? This is what we mean by native features. Mobile phones today are pack of all these features. They have all these abilities. You can play with the touch screen. You can use the camera. You can use HD video. You can use the speaker phones, as in the sound system. You can also use motion sensors. You can use whatnot, so many features. Now, how all of them come together and deliver an ad experience, that is something we'll see now.
Unique opportunity by creating an interactive rich media ad unit. After expanding the banner ad, users are presented with a menu of interactive options for exploring the Infiniti M Hybrid. First, a video placement showcases Infiniti's brand promise of a high-performance hybrid. Second, users are offered a rich visual of the vehicle via a vivid photo gallery of high-definition images. Finally, Infiniti takes an innovative approach to exploring its strongest value proposition, its safety features. Using the swiping maneuver on the iPhone, users sift through safety features and simply click an item to prompt a video demonstration. Consumers can then proceed to Infiniti's mobile site to learn more, or select the close button at the top right corner at any time to return to their previous browsing experience. To take this experience one step further, consumers are invited to tilt their phone to activate a visual demonstration of the traditional trade-off between power and efficiency. When power increases, efficiency decreases, and vice versa. However, the M Hybrid changes all that. When the user tilts their device up, both power and efficiency rise in tandem, illustrating this hybrid's unique ability to deliver uncompromised power and efficiency. Users are then prompted to add a human touch to the technology that powers the hybrid by swiping the screen. This prompts a series of pages that contain more information accessible by swiping from side to side. Infiniti's strategic use of the iPhone's touchscreen, video player, graphics, and accelerometer created a unique brand experience for its Canadian audience, encouraging interaction while simultaneously adding true value for its customer. That's the power of mobile.
So with that, I hand it over to Rajan, who can take you through other emerging trends in mobile marketing.
So thank you, Saurabh, for that. Right now, what Saurabh has told about the capabilities in which we use the new features of smartphone. How about changing the features of banner ads only? A simple banner ad is like this one. It's a static ad lying there. So nowadays, there are these mobile rising stars where you change the physical attributes of the advertisement itself. First of all is a film strip. I think all of us remember a roll we used to put into the camera to click photos. So this is called the film strip like that, a slider to open the advertisement, and then adhesion banner. Adhesion banner is that when you click upon the mobile, most of the banner advertisement goes away. Adhesion banner will stay there so that you have more impact and increase customer engagement. Full page flex. With advent of iPad, all of us want to lie down and see left, right, portrait, landscape. So full page flex advertisements help us to see both in portrait and landscape model. So what has happened with these kind of advertisement? First of all, recall is 23% more than native capabilities. Interaction is twice other than the native capabilities. Then likelihood of interaction has increased by 79%, and response time has also increased by 9 seconds. So I'll just talk briefly about these all. This is the first adhesion banner. The first one, there's a banner lying there. The moment person clicks there, it will go away. And in the second one, if it does not go away when the person clicks on it, and it provides a better customer engagement. Moving ahead, this is full page flex. Either you see in portrait model or you see in landscape model, it's all the same. It provides that features only. Then this is film strip. Focus on the right hand side. There are two cars, red, up and down. You can scroll it upwards, you can scroll it downwards, then you can double click on it and you will get that kind of screen. Why are these kind of traits in ads important? Because if a person is engaged in that advertisement, they will move ahead in the marketing funnel and will finally reach to purchase, which is our brand's target. We finally want to sell things to people. That is why we are putting ads on the games, Internet Explorers and everything. Okay, so after those kind of changes in ads, right now the word is data everywhere. Now we are incorporating data into ads. If let's say some stock is trending, let's say Microsoft is stock is rising by $5 every day, so I as a stockbroker would want to get an update upon that. Secondly, if I am, the example that is shown here, a lady wants to buy something, and if she is in 5th Avenue, she will like to receive an advertisement that shows her the place of 5th Avenue, and when she is in 9th Avenue, show her the lifestyle area at 9th Avenue. So how are these working is, they are taking location, they are taking weather, they are taking popular sports update. If Messi is scoring goals day in and day out, Adidas will have higher sales by projecting advertisements using Messi. So these are all new things that are being advertised in ads. So this is just one example of how location-based ad work. How good it will be that it is raining very heavily in Hyderabad and I get an advertisement while playing a video game that you can have a chai and pakoda at UDP. So that weather update, that location of where I am standing, if that can be taken into account while giving me an advertisement, that gives me an aha factor. Okay, so now we are talking after smart triggers, augmented reality. Now advertisements show you what actually it is not there. They are projecting 3D images, 3D graphics to engage you better. So for showing what augmented reality is, this is basically used by fashion brands all over the world, and in India by Madura Lifestyle. What Madura is doing is they are, you can go to their website or you can go to they have a lab where you can just stand and all the clothes will appear on you that you want to try in the image. So we'd like to show a video on this to show what augmented reality really means. Just putting the phone on that image, she is able to see catwalks with that particular address. She is able to see herself with that address. So we are augmenting reality by using only a phone, looking at a particular advertisement. So this gives the aha factor, and this is available on all phones, irrespective of whether it is an iPhone, Android, Windows phone, all of those. This was a very successful example done in 2012 in London, and the sales increased by a huge amount after this particular test. See the delights. she has just seen herself on the screen with the dress on. Just pure delighted customers. So after this particular augmented reality, we'll have the look at the last trend. These are codes. Earlier we used to use barcodes. Now I think most of us know what QR code are, quick response codes. But how quick response codes have been able to change the whole shopping funnel. You just click on a particular QR code that is available, let's say on a pamphlet that has been handed over to you or on a newspaper. So you are able to do one-click advertising by just clicking on that QR code. So again, for QR code also we wanted to show a video, and the last slide I think, just show the video. Yeah.
South Korea is a unique market. Tesco has been evolving itself, adjusting to the local market. It even changed the name itself from Tesco to Home Plus. And at last, it grew to rank number 2 in Korea. But Tesco had to overcome one obstacle, a fewer number of stores compared to the number 1 company, Emart. Mission: could we become number 1 without increasing the number of stores? We made an in-depth study into Koreans once more. Koreans are the second most hardworking people in the world. For them, grocery shopping once a week is a dreaded task. So we decided to approach these busy and tired people. Idea: let the store come to the people. We created virtual stores, hoping to blend into people's everyday lives. Our first try was subway stations. Although virtual, the displays were exactly the same as actual stores, from the display to the merchandise. Only one thing was different. You use smartphones to shop.
So they are just using QR codes to shop
Scan the QR
and have the
code
same
with your
experience as they would have in store.
Automatically lands in your online cart.
They don't need to go to the shop. On the subway while waiting for the train, they can just finish off their
When the
grocery
online
buying
purchase
habit,
is done,
and that's all.
it will be delivered to your door right after you get home. People can relax more after work and on weekends.
실제로 보면서 사니까 진짜 더 좋은 것 같아요. 편하기도 하고.
Result: people can shop at Tesco Home Plus wherever they go without having to visit the actual store. Moreover, we could change their waiting time to shopping time. After this campaign, online sales increased tremendously. Through this campaign, 10,287 consumers visited the online Home Plus mall using smartphones.
Just the
The
impact
number
of
of new registered members rose by 76%, and online sales increased 130%. Currently, Home Plus has become number 1 in the online market.
So they
and is a
achieved their
very
target
close second
of
offline.
becoming the number 1 without opening any new stores by just doing this particular campaign with QR codes. So this is my last slide. So okay, these are the 5 trends. Where are we going right now? First of all, hyper-personalized advertisement. When I want to see an advertisement, I want to see it straight on targeted to me. How they can do it? I think Facebook has a lot of data, and so other advertising platforms such as Google and InMobi. More interactive and engaging ads. More you make it easier for people to engage with it, play video games in the particular advertisement, more people will interact with you. One-click shopping. Finally, our target is to lead to purchase. So if in an advertisement I have an option of buying at that particular point, so one-click shopping. This is being pioneered by Amazon right now. And then last is Bluetooth Low Energy and other location devices. When I enter a store, if I get an advertisement at that point of time, the location is so specific that they know exactly where I am standing, in front of a jeans area or in front of a shirts area. So that delights a particular customer. That will be all for us. From us. Thank you.
Thank you, Saurabh and Rajandeep. May I now request Rima to give away token of appreciation?